birthday, John wasn't going to be home for it because he was on a business trip, so he hid like little pieces of paper all over the house, and I found them, and they had little notes to me, and sometimes he'll decorate with like streamers across the kitchen with little like papers that say like, you were 25 or whatever.
Reminder.
I think in general the romantic thing about you is you're very good with like remembering dates and things. So John will always be like, oh, you know what we were doing 2 years ago? We were blank. And I'll be like,
the most romantic thing about me is my math brain.
I love that you remember that.
When we first moved to Richmond, I took you for our anniversary on a surprise trip to the beach. In return, Sherry wanted to plan a special trip for me, which I thought was very kind of her to do because she doesn't know the area, she doesn't drive, all these things. So we end up in North Carolina, and she's like, I researched before we came, and I found what was voted the best burger place in this town, and we show up to a Red Robin.
Because not being from the South, I didn't know there was a big chain. So I was like, oh, this little cute restaurant, one of a kind, it's called Red Robin. It had great reviews. So
it was very sweet.
We ate there anyway, and it was delicious.
It was good.
I just didn't know it was everywhere.
So it was cute.
Northerner mistake.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Long, awkward pause. Trying to figure out who's going to say something first.
You go first.
I would say, this time I'm going to answer that question. I think the sort of like, we'll say peaks and valleys of the marriage have gotten like further apart. Because I think, you know, every marriage has like good moments and like not so good moments. I think having so much time and working together just makes the like good things like even better. Mm-hmm. But sometimes the bad things are a little bit more intense because there's like...
We're both like going through it.
Yeah.
Like if John had a bad day at work, he would come home and sometimes he'd bring it with him, but after dinner he'd be over it. But if we, you know, we're both doing the same thing. So if something frustrating, you know, say the blog crashes, we're both like wired for sound. Like the whole day we're like, oh my gosh, is it going down again? We're checking the stats. We're on call with the IT people all day. So I think we definitely have like, we go through the stress together.
No, no, no.
Oh yes, please say hi. Because this is what happens when you don't say hi. We'll come home and we'll get a message that says like, oh my gosh, I totally saw you at Panera, but I didn't say hi. Next time I will. It was great to see you. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, was I picking my nose? Yeah. Was Clara freaking out? So if you say hi, then we're like, oh, we know that someone's looking at us and we know you're there.
We could be on our best behavior.
Exactly. Because when people
our
are
least nose-picky behavior.
Yeah. Well, if someone's like, I saw you at Target checking out, I'm like, oh gosh, was I buying tampons? No, because mine are organic and not carried at Target.
I wonder who forgot the word that we all heard.
Clara's already going to school.
Clara's in preschool. She just started this fall. She does 2 mornings a week, so it's just like 3 hours on 2 days a week. And she loves it. Yeah. We think she's like the mayor of the
like,
school.
can we sign up for more days?
Yeah. Every morning she wakes up and says, today I'm going to go to the school. And sometimes it's not the day she gets to go to school and she's actually sad. So she loves it and she's making lots of friends.
No, no, no.
Yes. No. I'm excited. I'm going to have to make you come with food because there's a theater in our neighborhood now that, or in our city now that has food service
and a bistro
and dessert. So maybe I can convince him to
maybe
come.
For that.
If I say like, you could eat chocolate cake and not pay attention.
Well, not paying attention will certainly be part of the deal.
The answer, yes.
But I don't wonder about you.
Well, I would say who I want to play me would probably be like Paul Rudd because he's good in just about anything. I don't think he looks like me, but he'd probably be funny.
He would be really funny. That's
I'm
a good
assuming
choice.
this is a comedy.
Yeah, the comedy that is our lives.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who I really like? Okay, who's the girl in that George Clooney movie? And she's also in that new dancing movie.
Anna Kendrick or
yeah,
whatever.
I think she's funny. I don't think she looks like me, but I think we're weird. I think she and I would be friends in real life. That's why I picked her.
Okay.
We could go with Natalie Portman since everyone says that.
Good pick.
Because we have the same voice, apparently. We're voice twins.
People say I look like that.
You look like Jake. The
Jake
Bachelor.
Pavelka. I don't want him in a movie about that'd be straight to DVD. No, the guy that Miley Cyrus's boyfriend.
Oh yes, he's very cute.
Liam.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah, him.
Hemsworth.
And I will play myself. I'm just kidding.
Coming to theaters.
Me and Liam. Oh, that's a good question.
That is an excellent question.
Wait, what is it? Is that all you got?
What do you think of the new Housewives cast for New York City?
A very good question.
Do you think Carole is the new voice of reason?
Yes! Carole is absolutely the new voice of reason. Carole is hilarious to me and my friend Carrie. We watch it together and text each other. It's actually John's little sister.
Yeah.
And also my
Carrie.
friend. And we love Carole. We're on Team Carole. And oddly, sometimes I like Ramona. I know that's a weird, controversial thing to say.
Even I know that.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, Ramona's hilarious today.
Holla.
Holla. John does not like that there's a holla in the intro. He thinks it's weird.
I wonder how to turn to stone, to turn to stone, to walk alone.
No.
No.
In 5 years, we have not had any strangers come to our house, which we like, because we like to be private about that.
I did catch someone taking a picture out of their car once as they drove by.
Were you like this?
I was like, with shirt on, pants on.
No, no, no.
I wouldn't say we really worry that much about that stuff. I mean, we are cognizant of it, so we take measures like we have an alarm system that, you know, works when we're here so that we don't have to worry about someone breaking in while we're here, and when we're away so that we don't have to wonder when we're, you know, off to the store or off on a vacation. But I think, I don't know, in terms of having all of our personal information out there and like people knowing that stuff, I guess I feel like we kind of just like, that's the day we live in, and like if you are on Facebook or even if you're not on Facebook, like all your info is there to find.
It's public record.
My mom was just telling me she just signed up for something at a store, like one of those reward cards, and they put in her phone number and pulled up her name and her birth date and all this stuff. So like,
I always think about how there are much more worthy targets of that, like people with lots of money, like celebrities or fancy things. If you got in our house while we were on vacation, our alarm would go off, but if you ran through and ransacked it, you'd get like a pillow. So it would not be like you'd get my jewels,
a rhino,
Old Navy, you know.
Wonder when we call the past way too fast.
Clara, I feel like, is at this great age, which we probably should enjoy while we're at it, where she is very good at keeping herself busy.
There is supervision and there is like help when needed, but it's not, you know, like a year ago it was like actively reading to her, actively
don't fall down, don't bump into something.
Yeah, on the ground while holding her up so she could walk. And now it's like she can sit and play with her trains, and I can sit and do comments on the couch right next to her. So if she gets frustrated or, you know, like asks me to help her get a sticker off the track, I can be there and help her. And then obviously we try to do something special with her where we're actually interacting with her, like take her to the playground or...
We do like put on The Lion King every once in a while. She'll watch it for like 25 minutes. And
yeah, that's like her max.
25 minutes.
Yeah, that's her max right now, which we're glad about because we don't, you know, want her parked in front of the TV for 3 hours. But I think it's cute because we don't have to say like, no more TV. She just kind of like is over it.
Yeah.
But I don't wonder about you.
Yes! I mean, not soon, but...
Announcement!
No, I am not pregnant. I know you might look at this video and analyze me and say like, she's looking pregnant.
Is she lying? Did she look to the side?
No,
Did she avoid eye contact?
because we did creatively stretch the truth in a video where I was 1 day pregnant, or just found out we were pregnant for 1 day, because obviously we have to tell our family before we can tell you guys, sorry. And you want to make sure those things stick and all that. But no, we're not pregnant. And when I was creatively stretching the truth, I didn't say I wasn't pregnant. I said, when the time is right. So I'm saying I'm not pregnant. So I really am not pregnant.
I know exactly why I fell in love with you.
I think it's one of those things where we don't want to like put everything on the internet.
We don't want to put Claire's business on blast, okay, people?
Yeah, well, when she's like 20, she's not going to want to hear like, Clara pooped on the potty today.
Oh, no, she will.
No, she will. But it wasn't, that was an example. It was not an actual occurrence.
Yes.
She did not today.
She has.
Yes.
A few times.
She's used the
few and
potty.
far between.
Yes. And we get very excited for her. She gets stickers and we call her grandparents and tell them all about it. But she's not potty trained. We're just slowly easing into it.
We're sort of like taking like her cues and her pace. I mean, she's only like, she's not even 2.5 yet, so she's not, there's not a rush at this point, I guess.
Right, and her preschool doesn't require it until she's, I think, 3.5, so we have some time.
Like this morning, I asked her if she wanted to go. She said no, so we didn't. Well, I think my answer is yes, because if I didn't, our house wouldn't look like this.
I think I have this like nostalgic place for the first house, but it was, when I look at it now, every single picture, I'm like, here's what I would do differently. So I know it's not exactly my style anymore. Because I'll look at a room and be like, oh, it's so like tone on tone and there's so much texture and it's so soft and pretty, but man, I want like a pop of some color, or like, oh, I would have added curtains that weren't white in that room for a little bit of interest.
Sitting right next to me.
Oh! I was gonna say editing photos. Burn. Thank you.
Burn.
Editing photos is kind of annoying. You guys, we'll take like 1,000 a week, and then we have to upload them and put them in folders and size them, and you know, put them in the post. So it's kind of like, to me, it's like the busy work that every job has.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, there's lots of busy work I could do without like all the accounting and.
Yeah. Well, John organizes giveaways. I don't think people realize how long giveaways take to organize, because you have to get all this information from people and images from people, and you have to do dates. It's like, I think someone's job at a real corporation would be solely just doing giveaways. If you had them every week, it's a lot to manage. But I think you're great at it.
Thank you.
But I don't wonder about you.
Oh, I'm glad someone brought this up. It is a misconception that my dad is invisible. There have been lots
He's quite visible.
Growing up, my dad used to sketch things all the time. He's a math professor. So he draws like tessellations and numbers. And he drew this owl for me. So I did this post about how he drew the owl before I was born, but he mailed it to me so that I could frame it on our frame wall, because I wanted something meaningful from my dad. We've done like Father's Day posts where we share pictures of our own dads and how they were, both of our dads are really frugal. So I think they passed it down to us. So I think he's not in it as often as John's parents who live here in Richmond, or as my mom. My mom is just able to travel more. So he exists.
I know exactly why I fell in love with you.
Well, when Perez and I hang out, we're very competitive.
I love being friends with Katie. I don't feel any competition. I think the way that we approach other bloggers is a share the love thing. We've loved linking to other people, having a blog roll with all the blogs we read, sending links to, if we do a project that's similar to someone else, we try to research who else has done it so we can link to them, so that we're not saying we're the first ones in the world to make a train board. Here's other people who've done a train board, and we'll send links. To me, it's not like I made a cookbook and Katie Bauer made a cookbook and someone only has $10 and they have to buy the cookbook they want. And that might feel like a little bit of competition, but blogs are free. People can come and go to both of them.
I think you and Katie make each other like better and more sane about what you're doing, because they like talk a lot. Let's pause on that for a second.
We're chatty.
But you guys give each other ideas, you help each other with projects.
Yeah, we brainstorm together, or we'll talk about, oh, I was going to do this. Oh, here's the struggle I'm having.
So it's like the opposite of competitive.
I wonder why beneath the sky, there's nowhere to fly.
I don't enjoy every second.
Yeah, sometimes we hate projects and we say, like, this is just one of those things you have to get done before you get to the fun part, or... You know,
well, the fun part's over, but we gotta do this part just to like finish up and make it nice. And I hate cleaning up after projects, hence how my basement has been looking. Yeah. But
I think one of the things where there are some things that aren't as ominous as other things. Like painting a room is not that big of a deal for us.
But even with that, like we've seen like the neighbors' houses have like painters outside and they're away at work. And I'm like, how fun would it be just come home and you're like, your room is a new color.
Yeah, we watched a painter paint someone's garage and front door and we were like, that's amazing. You're at work, just doing your thing. Meanwhile, there's little worker bees at home doing it for you. And then you get home and bam, it's done. And it's cleaned up. It's done. But then you have to write a check, so.
So much work.
Writing a check.
I wonder who forgot the word.
Yes, I do. I still only have one, and proud of it.
But I don't wonder about you.
It'd be hard to say how long in terms of like an actual like date, but you've seen our to-do list on the blog. It still has plenty to do, bathrooms and the playroom slash big girl room for Clara. So
Sunroom.
I don't even think about that thing.
We have so many things to do.
So yeah, we're definitely not done here. So we're gonna be here for a little while more.
And then the plan has always been, actually since we moved to Richmond, we've been hoping to get some sort of second property for a rental or a beach house or something. John's dad, it's run in his family that they save up their pennies for years and then they get something and they rent it out and they hold on to it for a while, and then that's actually how they sent the kids to college, and it helped for his retirement. So we thought that would be really cool if we could do something like that someday. So that might be the after we're done with this house plan.
I know exactly why I fell in love with you.
Nope. Of course we are. Probably when Clara is ready to move into her big girl room, which
it probably won't be a playroom per se.
Right, it'll be a second,
probably be a big
kid's
girl
bedroom.
Because we feel like the room she's in now, her like nursery, is a good size for a nursery. So if / when second kid is here, we'd like to put them in there, and then that will, you know, Clara will get the boot. Although Clara will probably get the boot as soon as she's ready to move out of her crib.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think the boot is kind of harsh. I think she will be very excited to go into that room. I'm booting her. She wants to sleep in that day bed and fake sleeps on our bed, but she's still very comfortable in her crib and she sleeps well, so the doctor said leave her in the crib as long as you can, as long as you're not moving her right when you're having a second baby. So since we're not even pregnant, we have some time to transition her into that room, get her comfortable, and then the nursery can stay a nursery and either get boyified
or become a playroom / junk room.
No, we will not do that. Well, that will not be happening. Oh yes, a lot of people are very interested in the book. The way that a book works for a first-time author, first-time awkward, is that you are not Stephen King, so you get a very modest advance, and what that covers is all the work you do beforehand, before the book comes out. So if you factor in the 2 years of writing the book and refining the book and shooting the book and outlining the book, we probably make like $5 an hour on the book when you break up the advance over 2 years. But it is an amazing opportunity, so that's why we said yes to a book.
Yeah.
It was not, we can't buy a house.
I would not recommend writing a book for the money.
Right. It's just a cool opportunity to say, oh my gosh, we're published. The way that it works is that you get that little modest advance in the beginning, and then you get royalties. And once again, if you're a first-time author, the royalties are very modest.
If any.
Yeah, if any. You get a very, very, very small percentage of their profit. So they're in the red for a while because the publisher makes the books and prints the books and ships the books. Once they make all that money back, they start giving us a little smidge of the profit.
I wonder how to turn to stone, to turn to stone, to walk alone.
I'd say generally when we do a project, it's on the blog like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days on average. I mean, sometimes like your like soup cans, like the train board, like
sometimes it's like within, within 12
before.
hours. Yeah, the afternoon before we're taking the pictures and uploading, and then it goes up in the morning.
Sometimes it's like a week-ish because
if we do like a window shopping at IKEA and we have all these pictures, we might come home and just want to share projects.
That's usually what happens. Like we'll finish it, but then it's like the documentation and the writing that sometimes slows us down. It's like we have to wait for the light to be good to take the picture, and then we have to edit all the pictures.
Yeah.
And in between doing all that, we might have done like a soup can type project, and that like sort of weaseled its way.
Yeah.
In
sometimes
beforehand.
little things
it gets like
cut, other things.
It gets nudged back a day or something like that.
We all heard. No, no, no.
Oh yeah. I mean, Clara is a normal 2-year-old, I guess, by most accounts. So she has bad days. She throws fits. She has tantrums. She has moments where she doesn't listen and makes us want to pull our hair out probably at least once a day.
But we love her anyway.
We just don't take photos of it.
Yeah, we don't vlog about that.
Maybe we should start. Is that bad of us?
The weekly tantrum.
Yeah, seriously. A new series from Young House Love.
Are you and we can be all the things that we but see, and up is down and over is under. That's why I need never wonder.
So, in summary,
there is no summary.